It's fine.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world. It is one time for the WADcast, episode number 68, the Writers, Actors, Directors podcast. And what we do here is we talk about all those things, plus all those jobs on a set in between that brings us all the movie magic. I am one of your hosts, Josh, joined, as always, from the guys that live underneath the Hollywood sign. And I don't mean like in proximity to it. I mean they like literally have a tent and they live there. Kente and Brandon, what's up, guys?
Hey,
First off, it's a tarp, okay?
Sorry.
Yeah.
The Patreon will get you guys a tent in no time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I gotta call out some people.
Okay.
Yesterday was Veterans Day,
Mhm.
and they have people who are calling themselves veterans because they play Call of Duty.
Are you serious?
Yes,
I'm not even being facetious. Are you serious that people actually call themselves veterans?
yes. I'm a veteran. I play Call of as much as I play Call of Duty and Battlefield. So no, you're not.
Battlefield is one thing, but Call of Duty?
You're not. Okay, just because you play video games doesn't mean that. Okay.
I mean,
I'm willing to give you a free F-bomb for this.
Yeah. Did I use the F-bomb?
No, but I'm going to give you a free one right now. So,
okay, that's fucked up.
Yes. Now, if you were married to, if you have dated my ex of 3 exes ago, and you survived it, you are definitely a veteran.
Well, I see.
That makes me a veteran because I survived that war. But anyway,
that's like me saying I'm a veteran because in what year was it that the first X-Men movie came out? Was that 99, 2000, around there somewhere?
Around there, yeah.
Okay, that's like me saying that I am a veteran because I think 2000. Because in 2000, me and my friend Chris, quote unquote, borrowed my older brother who just graduated from Navy boot camp. We borrowed his uniforms that were at my father's house in Florida to go to the theater to get the military discount for the tickets. Now, this is before we really knew what stolen valor was. I don't approve of it now. It's just one of those dumb things you do as a kid. Of course, Chris had my brother's camis and everything else, and I had his coveralls, which apparently you're not supposed to wear off the base, and I found out because every person that worked at the theater was in the Navy, apparently, stationed in Jacksonville.
In the Navy.
So I got called out immediately. And since I claimed to be my brother, even knew his rank and where he's stationed and his job title and everything else, I guess I could say I'm a veteran, like vicariously, through a guy that went AWOL. But at least I had a uniform on.
Yeah.
Say hi to your mom, Brandon.
Hi, Mom.
There we go. Good boy.
Is Mom here? Is she? Is that your mother? Oh, she is here. Oh, yeah. Lisa Gonzalez, that is my mother.
All right, I will not curse.
Oh, it's okay. I fucking curse all the time, dude. What do you think I got it from?
And there was your one. What a waste.
Nope. It was not a waste because it was used with purpose. Mom, I know that you're not the one that curses like a sailor. That's my stepdad, Jimmy. I think that's the reason why I have the mouth of a sailor who retired and became a lifelong trucker. So, but yeah. So, okay. I think she's messaged us again here. Yes, I'm here. Okay. Yes. Yay.
Do you remember that show? You Can't Do That on Television.
Yeah.
I don't know. Slime.
Yeah, great show. I remember they had this one bit where this nerdy guy would dress like a gay sailor, and he would sit there and wait. He wanted people to pick on him. So, and this one guy was about to make fun of him for looking like a gay sailor, and his friend stopped him and said, "No, he's an expert martial artist. He just wants an excuse to beat somebody up."
Wasn't this a kid's show?
Yeah. Oh, that show is so great. You know, they say that you can't get that show because it's because it's too many episodes and it would cost too much to have it available or something like that. So that's why it's never was on DVD. But that show was great.
That's where I fell in love with Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
I forgot she was on that show.
Isn't that ironic?
Don't you think? Like a little too ironic, though.
But I'm bummed.
But anyway, I really do think
you wanted her hand in your pocket.
Too far.
Mom, earmuffs. Don't listen.
I'm sorry, Mom. Take that back.
No, it's okay. No, I wanted Alanis Morissette's hands like all over me.
No, Lord.
And then I realized eventually that I don't really get into like females of the Caucasian equation. I usually date like very much outside my race.
Did you know that the drummer for the Foo Fighters was the drummer for Alanis Morissette on the Jagged Little Pill album? Taylor Hawkins.
I'm thinking like the drummer for Nirvana. But really, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, he actually stole Taylor Hawkins from Alanis Morissette.
Oh, see, I did not know that.
It's better than what Dave Coulier stole from Alanis Morissette.
Dave Coulier.
Cut it out.
Wait. One last Dave Coulier thing. Do you know that blankety blank went with one of his black friends? You know ADR, right? Richard Pryor didn't do his own ADR when they had to change it for television, take all the curse words out.
Yeah.
So they were looking to hire someone who can do a great impersonation of him so that when they had to redub his lines for all of his movies, that they would they could have someone that could sound like him. And so Dave Coulier went with one of his black friends who's a comedian, and he said that he went there just for support, and it was every black comedian that in the world basically was in there to get this job. And then somebody saw him and said, "Hey, why don't you come in and try?" And he came in and he did an impersonation. He got the job. So when you hear the clean versions of Richard Pryor movies, it's Dave Coulier.
Wow, that's that's awesome.
That's effed up. Like really, Dave Coulier. I mean, he did a great impersonation, but there's like a million black guys that do great impersonations of him.
It honestly, it reminds me of the opening of Chasing Amy.
Mm-hmm.
The whole altercation about like I guess Darth Vader, like how he was like a Nubian god kind of deal. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like, okay,
yeah.
And he's like, he just goes off, and you got Jason Lee going against it with like this black, the gay black man up there, like making this point.
Hooper.
Hooper. It's just what he says, like,
what's a new?
And then you have the third installment, Return of the Jedi, where they pull back like Darth Vader's beautiful black visage to reveal a feeble, crusty old white man, which tells us deep down inside we all wants to be white.
Isn't that true?
Isn't that true? God.
Yeah. That's so funny.
It just reminds me of that, like that. Wow.
Until I saw that movie, I didn't know why we called Josh Chinese finger cuffs.
Ask Josh about some of the scars he has on his body. He's got stories. But as far as everything goes, guys, all of our listeners, I made a post yesterday, and I want to back that post up today by saying to all of our listeners who are in fact veterans or like even currently serving, or or are on the verge of finishing up their service and everything else. People like such as my stepfather Jimmy. Guys, happy Veterans Day. I hope you guys had a great Veterans Day. Um, just you guys are very much appreciated. It takes a lot of balls to do leave home and join the military of all things, and not knowing where your future is going to take you. Amber, one of our constant listeners and frequent commentators on our show, she's very awesome. She's a veteran herself, as is Sue Swank's husband. So Sue's been on our show, and she's also commented in the section. But no, seriously, any veteran guys, happy belated Veterans Day. And again, I just hope you guys had a great, safe, and happy Veterans Day yesterday. So,
But you know what movie gave me more respect for veterans was Starship.
In the Army now?
No, Starship Troopers.
In the Army.
Why is that?
Man, what those guys went through battling those insects, man, it was heartbreaking. That movie. It was very touching. Yeah, they had a young dude.
You know what?
Blanche was in it from Golden Girls. She had a small role. I don't know if you remember that.
I do not.
Yeah, she was a teacher.
Oh,
it was like one little scene, but she was in it.
I do not.
Yeah, and then it had Charlie Sheen's. She would be then his future wife.
Oh yeah. Denise.
Richards. Yeah.
Richards.
Yeah.
One thing that misled me when it came to watching Starship Troopers, I thought the group showers would be much different than they are in real life. Definitely not the party that I signed up for.
Wow.
Starship Troopers misrepresented that. Yeah. Throwing that out there.
Well,
I will say they had the coolest drill sergeant. He had a great point though, with the one guy saying well, why do we need to throw knives when we can just push a button? And then he tells him to put his hand up on that board and everything else, and he just throws that knife right through the guy's hand. And he says, if you disable their hands, they can't push a button.
Oh man.
That's
and then you know what?
Practical advice right there.
I will say this though. Those bugs, they did Casper Van Dien like a service by getting rid of Dizzy. That girl was a homewrecker and a half.
Yeah.
So you know what? Good job, Bugs. Good job. And then there are some actors and actresses that die in every movie. Sean Bean's one of them. She is another one. Because she dies in gruesome ways, and it's always something chest related. She gets she got impaled by a bug through the chest, and in Saw 3, if I'm not mistaken, Saw 3 or Saw 4, one of the two.
Probably.
I forget which one, where she is hooked up to the butterfly trap where it rips her chest open.
The original title for Starship Troopers was
what?
A Bug's Life.
Oh my God!
Where's my rim shot?
Yeah, see, we need to have those sound effects for those the drum kind of things. But we actually as far as the show tonight goes, it's actually largely based around veterans who went on to work in the industry, whether it's acting and directing or both, or even other facets. I have a few veteran friends of mine that work diligently in the film industry, make a lot of money, are very successful on multiple levels, but it's all I guess crew positions, whether it's production assistants. I have a friend of mine in New York that is a career production assistant. He makes almost $100,000 a year. No, I think post production, if I'm not mistaken. But cameramen, all that stuff. But there's actually a long list. I think, Josh, you said just by looking it up for a few seconds, you found 90 some odd people in the entertainment industry that were at one point in the military, and there are some people that you would never even expect to have been veterans at one point.
Oh yeah, a lot of surprising names, a lot of not so surprising names, and I'm throwing the link to the article on here just so we're citing our sources. This is.
Oh, you know what you should do? You know what you
100
should do, Josh?
What's that?
You should do. I'm not going to look at it. You should give names of like 12 actors, and we have to guess veteran or not veteran.
Okay.
So some will be on the list, and some you're just making up.
Okay. Talks amongst yourself. I'll prepare a little game show for you.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw two names out there that surprised me, so you can like not worry about putting them on the list. And it's not because they're two of my favorite comedians.
Mm-hmm.
First one is Mel Brooks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mel Brooks, a lot of because he served during World War II.
Right.
And it's hysterical that this man served during World War II, and then went on with the producers with a song called "Springtime for Hitler."
Right.
Especially as a Jewish person, like I mean, like okay, you have a Jewish guy in World War II, like kicking ass like against the Germans and stuff like that. That's awesome. But you have him, and you also have Drew Carey.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew Drew Carey served ever.
Semper Fi.
And it's like I know that there are people that like I have certain family members that are anti like all things liberal, socialist, Marxist, whatever it's they have to throw out in that direction as like a big scary word to explain something they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So they're big, like they were big fans, and I remember seeing Drew Carey a while back, like as far as his name showing up on like a list of veterans. So it's like it just reminded me of this. But I was hearing about how he doesn't even get political. Like I mean, it's rare for him to really like get, like he's the face of a game show, like on a popular game show, so he doesn't really get very political very often. But he said something, and someone posted on Facebook a while back, like, well, Drew Carey should focus on. He has no right to say anything because he's just a game show, whatever. He's a game show host. He's a failed comedian. I'm like, well, judging from your size and your age and everything else, I doubt you're a veteran at all, and he is. So he's actually fought for your right to say shit. So I think he has more of a right to say shit than some troll on the internet.
Hold on. They called him a failed comedian?
I would love to feel like that.
Yeah, seriously, like it's not very easy to fail upwards. I mean, that's impressive if you do that. Like, oh, you're so good at comedy that you just flat out failed. But Josh, how's that list coming?
So far, I've added one name.
Jeez. Okay, so we're going to do this list at the end of the show, I guess, right?
Every time I try to add somebody, I find out, oh, wait, yep, they were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I mean, like with Drew Carey, he like not only was he in the military, this man was a damn Marine.
Mm-hmm. That's where
it's hard to see him as a Marine. Like
I know, but it's like, well, I mean, I guess kind of like it's like with him, it's like it's so hard to take him seriously because he doesn't take himself seriously. I mean, you watch him on like the old school "Whose London Is Anyway" episodes that came out like in the 2000s. I mean, it's just so difficult to take him seriously because this man he could not keep a straight face. He was like the Jimmy Fallon of that show.
You know the comedian Earthquake?
Yes.
He was not only was he in the military, he actually used to handle the nukes. Like for real. That was his job.
Well, I mean, it's like a lot of these guys are actually like, very like, I mean, they're badasses, but with that badassery comes a very dark sense of humor as well. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm going to go in here and handle this bomb real quick, crack some jokes while I'm doing it, make sure that I can cover myself in case I die.
Right. What a job, though.
Is this bomb going to blow up? I don't know. Want to hear a joke?
Yeah, that's a job I don't want, Josh. I'm sorry. I'm good on that. Well, you know what? Let's before we get into actors, since we're gonna do the list, maybe we should talk about films that were great, like military war films.
Okay, let's leave In the Army Now out of it because
there's only so much Pauly Shore in me to get through a show, and I think I've met my quota.
Oh, thank God.
What about you guys ever seen Three Kings?
Yes.
That was like a very good movie.
Marky Mark and George Clooney, right?
And
Why
Ice
you
Cube.
gonna leave out? Yeah, how you gonna leave out Ice Cube? See what I mean, Josh? You know what's so funny? Black people, we if you ask a black person that movie, oh, that's the Ice Cube movie. We always like it's so funny. I remember as a side note, a friend of mine was telling me like, oh yeah, I was watching the Anthony Anderson movie last night, and I was like, oh, what movie? And then he was trying to explain it, and I was like, Anthony Anderson movie, and I was like, and then I realized what movie he was talking about. He's talking about The Departed. And I'm like, he's barely in the movie. What are you talking about? The Anthony Anderson movie. Like he's barely in it, but he's like the only black guy in it. So it's Anthony Anderson it's the Anthony Anderson movie.
Yeah, it's such a small role too. Like it's such an obscure role.
Right.
Like it's not like exactly like a blink and you'll miss it role, but it's damn close to it.
Right.
Because I had to think for a second. It's been a few years since I saw The Departed. I mean, I personally think The Departed is a horrible movie, but it's been a minute since I've seen it. But I do like I had to think for a second, like Anthony Anderson, he wasn't. Oh, he was. That's right.
There's Stripes. I'm thinking of movies that are humorous. Stripes.
Oh yeah,
it's a classic.
Stripes. What was that one with Chevy? What was the one with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd?
Spies Like Us.
Spies Like Us. Because I mean that movie, like that one scene, doctor.
Remember Officer and a Gentleman?
Oh yes, Richard Gere, man.
Yeah. And then I was Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood and Mario Van Peebles. That's a good one. Yep. If you guys haven't seen that one, it's a really good one.
And like what was it? Fury was okay. Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
I will say Inglourious Bastards, I remember seeing that in theaters and my jaw dropped so many times that movie. I was like, I wasn't expecting half the shit to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, like the Bear Jew. Like, here comes, like, what's his face? The director guy. Directed Hostel. What's his name? Eli Roth. Coming out with a baseball bat.
Yeah. Josh cried in the end when Hitler died. He said it wasn't right.
Oh man, even for Hitler, like
context, because the history of it wasn't right.
I mean, he got like, I know historically, I guess there was like a bullet to the head or something like that. But in this, he got like a bullet or like a few hundred to the head.
Yeah, G.I. Jane, that's a good one.
G.I. Jane, that was a damn good movie. Like that was with Demi Moore and her being like the first female like Navy SEAL, right?
Right. Oh, side note, Demi Moore did this movie called Disclosure, where the premise of the movie is that hot Demi Moore. This is Demi Moore when she was in her prime, rapes Michael Douglas, and I'm sorry, I wasn't buying it. It's like, I don't know if you remember the rape scene, and he's all like, no. I'm like, stop. Like, really?
I was going to make a joke, but I know that I'm like the drunken uncle on the show here with my humor in my mouth. So I will hold back on the joke I was going to make, but disclaimer: our thoughts do not reflect that rape is okay. Everybody, we don't condone rape. Ladies, don't rape men. Men do not rape. Don't rape ladies. But
Demi Moore at that point, come on, is not raping anybody.
And like even though I very, very, very seldom will even, and God, this sounds so bad. Very seldom go on dates or have even like really been involved romantically with women in my ethnicity. There are exceptions like her and Emmy Rossum that I will gladly always make. And I'm talking about like old school Demi, more like
yeah.
And she's still a firecracker.
Now I would believe. but not
Like,
then.
but it's like, back then, like back in the days of like Ghost and everything, I'm like, you know what, Demi? I see you. I see you very well. Them and Jennifer Connelly. Even Jennifer Connelly now, I don't care. Jennifer Connelly is Jennifer Connelly. Ever since I burnt up the VHS tape of Labyrinth that my mom bought me when I was a little kid, because Jennifer Connelly was in. I watched the movie back to back to back when I was like, before I even hit 10. But it's just Jennifer Connelly. But I will say there is a
Great.
I'm going to kick it into like the horror spectrum here, because every single zombie film, ladies and gentlemen, if there is ever a zombie apocalypse and you hear a military announcement, do not listen to it. The military always, the government itself, always exacerbates the apocalypse. They always make it worse, and they're always also the cause of it. Like, even if it's like contracts, like for biological warfare, they're always the cause of, like, these zombie films. And like, what was it? Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead. Was it Dawn or no? Was it Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Dead? That was very military centric. Like the military was like, they were like the bad guys though, and the most unbelievable military uniforms. It was like it was such a low budget. Like it was a good Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, I think, where they had the scientist that was learning how like the zombies function. He had the zombie that was chained up, and it could function on like some kind of human scale. It was even sad to see the scientist get killed. But like, and I think they even did like a remake of Day of the Dead with God, the girl from the girl from American Pie, the nerdy choir chick. What's her name? American Pie, American Beauty, and whatever American movie she was in. You know who I'm talking about?
No, I'm sorry.
She was like that geeky choir chick that in American Pie.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I can't think of her name, but she like but she was.
I was about to say Anna Faris. Anna Faris.
Oh God! If Anna Faris is ever in any kind of military movie, I don't think I could take her seriously. I would just expect it to be some kind of like a slapstick comedy.
Yeah. But
I feel like she's one. I feel like she's one of those actresses that like wants to one day be taken as a serious actress, but I don't see it ever really happening because it's Anna Faris. But no, it's like it's she played a badass soldier. I'm like, no, not buying it. But oh God, what was her name? Zombie on the phone. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, that's right. Dawn of the Dead. It's like, when they gave the zombie a phone, and he like kind of remembers how to use the phone.
Hagen.
Huh?
Allison Hannigan.
Oh no, she was the Bandcamp chick though.
Right. That's what I thought. That's what you said.
No. She was what I was. She was like, she turns into Jim's love interest. This is a girl that was in American Pie. She was in American Beauty. Spun. She was.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I cannot think of her name at all. Loser, like once again with Jason Biggs.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And she's a talented actress. She's a very talented actress. I don't mean anything like sour towards her. It's just I just cannot think of her name.
Mina Savara.
Savara. Mina Savara.
Yeah,
that's it. Okay, that's right. But like 28 days later, and 28 weeks later, I think is actually a great way to see like military dedication, like soldiers' dedication, because you have the Jeremy Renner, who sacrificed himself in that movie to save the kids and his what's her face oh God, I'm sorry guys, I am fried tonight. I have essentially been up since yesterday morning, so bear with me here. I'm usually on the ball with the actors and actresses' names, but it's like, but I mean, this movie, like these two soldiers are saving these kids from the infected, doing everything they can to get them out of like a quarantine zone that is on the verge of being nuked by the military once again in London because of the once again outbreak of the rage virus. And both these soldiers sacrificed their lives for the sake of these kids to get them to safety. Um, but it's like you see like military is either painted horribly. Well, I think the military themselves is any branch is painted horribly as a collective in these zombie films, but you always have like a few of the soldiers that actually show what it's like to be a soldier in these movies by just being all around badasses and facing down their own eventual known demise, like their end. They just like go towards it willingly, like, well, I'm going to die. Might as well take a bunch of these bastards with me. It's like, and it's like there are a lot of like Full Metal Jacket, like shows, I guess, like the tragic consequences of certain scenarios, and like in the beginning of the film with Gomer. Oh my God, like like Vince D'Onofrio, like I mean, like my God, how he played that character. I remember seeing it as a kid and like, oh, okay, that's I had laughed at a few things like the drill sergeant being kind of like an asshole to him, but then I got older, I'm like, this poor guy is driven to the brink of insanity by this drill sergeant, and you know what? I'm happy he killed that son of a bitch. That guy was a monster. And then the drill sergeant went on to play a monster in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that stuff. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's, and then seeing what those guys went through during the Vietnam War. Forrest Gump is very military centric, with just like with Forrest Gump himself, and you see like Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd consider that a military movie.
Well, no. I would consider. I mean, obviously, I would consider it like a timepiece. Like it's like, well, I guess like a timepiece of the course of, I guess, like 20 some odd to 30 years of a person's life. But well, not like 20 years of his life, I guess, because it starts when he was about like 10 years old. But I'm just saying, like, you have, when I talk about like Veterans Day and like like just military involvement in movies and whatnot, I would like put Forrest Gump in there because it shows like what soldiers dealt with during their battles in the War of Vietnam. So I mean, it's just like, it's some messed up stuff. But going back to military movies, so you have great movies like what is it? U5. Oh God, U5.
U571.
Yeah, U571. I should have tried to get some sleep today. U571. It's a great movie. I like the movie. Ernest Goes to the Army.
Oh yeah.
Can we count that as a military movie?
Sure. I mean, any Ernest movie counts.
Ernest P. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ernest P. Worrell is a veteran. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those movies were kind of good.
They really were. Like, I mean,
Ernest Saves Christmas might be the best of them all.
What's that?
The Ernest Saves Christmas movie is a good
movie. Yeah. When he explains how Santa like comes into a house when there's like no chimney.
You know what I mean?
But I will say, like, the one movie of Ernest P. Worrell that always cracks me up, and I know we're coming off subject, ladies and gentlemen, but if it's your first time listening, we do this all the time. We always fall away from the subject a little bit. But what do you call it? With Ernest, there's a scene in like Ernest Goes to Camp. And for some reason, this is the one scene that gets me every time, where I will laugh for, oh God, like easily like the next 20 minutes. And it's where he's like taking the kids to the woods. He's like, oh, look, a family of badgers. Now, kids, if you see some badgers, you never, ever do this. And they attack him. Like, I saw that when I was a kid, and I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, okay, maybe it was just like the child in me. I watched it as an adult. I was crying from laughing my ass off at this scene. Like, I was in legitimate tears.
There is, I think, a question that could be asked here, and that's, in the history of war movies being made by Hollywood, there was a very almost clear transition between the John Wayne type war hero movies versus the protesting anti-war movies where it went from war is glory to war is hell. What do you think some of the underlying causes of that were, and why was it's such an abrupt shift in messaging?
That's a great question. Honestly, I just think that the sign of the times, things change.
Yeah.
That's a great question, though, bro.
I bring a good one to the table every now and then.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
happens once in a
personally,
while.
you know, it really did happen in that post World War II era. I think it was watching Battlefield in my film studies class that kind of made me raise an eyebrow because that was released. When was Battlefield released? Look that up real quick. Because I want to say it was in the 40s.
Oh, I was thinking like Battleship. I'm like, that movie sucked.
Let's see. Of course, it's not like one of the top results. Wonderful. Anyway, but it was made very shortly after World War II ended, and that was still an era where to go to war and to be heroic and filled with valor was something that was in abundance when it comes to movies. But this in particular movie looked at sort of a grimmer side of war, and it really showed the frailty of human emotions under stress. Which
Oh yeah.
I thought, considering the time it was made, it's like there are vets coming home and they're seeing this. I kind of understood the whole heroic thing. You know, these guys, they're coming back. They want to see themselves portrayed as heroes. It was the whole boomer thing getting started. You know, well, it's essentially what caused the boom, right? The guys came back and they're like, "Yeah, we're heroes, right?" And then you know they got their genetic jackhammer on and filled the nation with a lot of babies.
Uh-huh.
So that I would say maybe Hollywood bears some responsibility for the overzealous procreating that happened. After all, you're not anybody unless you're banging a soldier, right?
Well, mind you, see, like after World War II, well, even during World War II. Now, World War II films were really big after World War II. People wanted to know, like, they wanted stories of these heroes that like came back and the heroes that fell. Mm-hmm. They wanted these stories of these heroic people, most of which have gone unnamed, save for through their families' memories and also through the like the wall in Washington D.C. or like other things around the country here and there, like a tribute, like monuments, whatever. So there was a lot of stories, but there was also a lot of propaganda back then too. There was a whole lot of propaganda, and so this propaganda made it look like, as you put it, like it's heroic to be a soldier. Like soldiers are heroes, and I agree. Like well, most soldiers are heroes. I think anyone that takes that step out to an unknown whatever, I think has a potential to become a hero. But unfortunately, like heroes, there are also villains. There are protagonists in things just as there are antagonists, right? You have people that should never be soldiers. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but they are, there are some, again, people, no disrespect towards the military whatsoever on my end. I respect the military very much. But the thing is that there are, in fact, people that should not be in that. But like there are movies, though, that, what was it, like A Few Good Men, right? With Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. Like you have Jack Nicholson who made a call that costs, lives, right? It's been years since I've seen that one. It might be, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Like he's on trial for things that he did. But going back to it, it's like there are, if you joined the military back then, you were a hero. And this went on even like in Vietnam. Like they were trying to make it seem like it was a great thing that we were in Vietnam doing our thing.
Oh wait, A Few Good Men.
Yeah, that was with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, right?
You're talking about that Cuba Gooding Jr. movie, right?
That was funny. That's funny.
I missed
the one black person in the movie.
I had to make up for something from earlier. Don't worry about it, Brandon.
It was a callback.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right. I'm fast. I am so off my game tonight. Again, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for my lagging here. Just I'm not me right now. But Rambo. I will say First Blood. There is first off, that whole movie is so tragic because that was very much what it was like for a lot of soldiers coming back from Vietnam. Like this man came back just passing through a town. And because he's wearing his flak jacket, he is a target. And that movie, I think, is one of a few movies in that time period that dealt very specifically with flashbacks that these soldiers dealt with. Like you see Rambo being tortured by the cops, right? And he's just like suffering like flashbacks from his PTSD of being in the military. And most of this movie is just like him just trying to get away from these cops, but killing them, like just getting one by one until he finally just snaps. There's the speech at the end of that movie, First Blood, when he's talking about the war is never over. And then we got Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo, Last Blood. Now I think they're making another Rambo movie again.
Yeah, Old Blood.
Huh?
Old Blood.
Old Blood. Rambo with a nursing home. But Last Jello. But the thing is like the ending of that movie is so heartbreaking because this is a soldier that just wants to be left alone. That's all he wants. He finds out that his friend from the military is dead. In the very opening scene of the movie, he finds out that his close friend that he served with is dead. And I think he was like the last of his squadron at that point, the last of his platoon. But it's just like it was just so sad. Like when he talks about his friend that he was with, and there was an explosion, he realizes that pieces of his friend are all over him and everything else. And in an alternate ending for that movie, Rambo actually shot and killed himself.
Oh man, I wish that was the ending.
I will say, at least like Rambo, if they skip the next two movies, because let's face it, the next two movies were pretty bad. There's just like 80s action at its, I guess, in all its glory. But the one that came out in 2008, just Rambo, I will say that was actually a solid sequel.
I heard that.
Like, if you haven't seen it, I recommend people watch it. And once again, it's just Rambo. He just wants to be left alone. And it's the only military interaction really there is just a militia, really, like that rapes and murders people. But no, it's just like, I think Rambo, I may be wrong, but I think Rambo at that point in time was one of a handful of movies that really touched on PTSD in soldiers. And this gives prelude to a darker thing, because Veterans Day doesn't just include, like, I don't want to say it just includes like military movies, but any movie having a deal where a protagonist is in fact a veteran of some sort. There's a movie that my mom watched with me when she was watching it and I caught it. It's a Thanksgiving movie with Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez. from the 90s. It's called A War at Home.
Oh yeah.
That's another one, ladies and gentlemen. If you've not seen this movie, I highly recommend you watch this movie. It is about a kid, Emilio Estevez, who came back from Vietnam, survived a really nasty battle, or a few battles rather, and is mentally just gone. Mentally, he's an emotional wreck. He's a mental wreck. He's a basket case, and no one knows how to deal with him. And there's just so much going on with him, where there's in one scene in the movie, he draws a gun on his father, Martin Sheen, and he starts having like a flashback and starts like hallucinating that he's back in, whatever province of Vietnam that he was battling in. Excuse me. But it's heartbreaking, and you just like see him finally break down, crying. It's so sad. And you see these things, and these are things that you don't see. Well, I guess you're starting to see as of late, with what these soldiers go through emotionally. Jarhead, right, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Jamie Foxx. You see what these guys deal with. You see certain things. Brothers with once again Jake Gyllenhaal, and Tobey Maguire playing the veteran that had to kill a member of his squadron to survive, and it was videotaped. Like it was a 6-sadistic game that he was put through. These are heartbreaking movies. I would love to have some happy-go-lucky military movies, and there are some, but there's a darker side to what what veterans deal with, and it's just, as a person that has friends and has lost friends and family in the military, whether it's due to serving overseas or self-inflicted when they came home, I'll tell you right now, it is a darker side. There are some movies that are amazing films that, in my mind, I don't think it gets touched on enough. Even that movie with Bradley Cooper, what was it? Where he played the sniper that almost killed the kid in Afghanistan.
American Sniper.
American Sniper. And you see his disconnect from everything when he comes home.
Yeah, the Hurt Locker was really good too.
The Hurt Locker was an amazing one. So there's a lot. There's a reason why I support, if not the military, veterans that come home from the military. The real veterans, not the ones that say they're veterans so they can try to get discounts, or people that are whatever. People that you can usually spot the people that are just making up that they're veterans. But they go through a lot of shit. And when they come home, and there's sometimes where they come home and let me rephrase that. There's a lot of times where they come home, they just cannot connect to the world around them. Going to superhero terrain, you got Captain America. He has a line in there where I think in The Winter Soldier, where he's talking to Sam, and he talks about how he's Sam's talking about how he when he got out, he was sleeping on the floor, or whatever the conversation was. And Steve Rogers, agreed with him. He was like, yeah, it's that mattress is too soft. It's like sleeping on a cloud. And then you cut to, I think, Civil War, when Captain America breaks into Bucky's apartment, and there's no bed. Bucky's sleeping on the floor. It's just one of those deals where it's like, damn. But yeah, I made this conversation sad.
We have a game to cheer us all up with.
Yeah. It'd be great if we had a list of celebrities to go through, but the person who's doing it just took themselves off mute. Hopefully, that means that they're done with the list, Josh.
No, the list has been done for 20 minutes.
Okay, good. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. boy.
All right, it's time to play everybody's favorite game show. Who was a veteran?
Yeah, our very first game show.
It got popular real fast.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play.
Well, the rules are simple. I'm going to give you a name. You're going to each take a guess and tell me if they were a veteran or not. There are, let's see, more than 12. A couple more than 12. I don't remember exactly. And I will tell you either yes, and you'll get a point, or no, and you'll have to slap yourself in the nuts.
I'll slap my dog in the nuts. How's that sound?
Sounds mean,
Well, I mean, he doesn't have any.
but he didn't get it wrong.
Fine, I'll spank him. He likes getting spanked.
All right, fine. No penalty for getting it wrong. You
Okay.
just have a harder time winning. So, who's ready to play?
Go ahead. What's up?
I am.
All right. First on the list, I'm going to give you is Bob Hope.
Oh, he
Yes.
he was a veteran.
The answer is no.
I thought he was.
I thought he was too. Yeah. Huh.
While Bob Hope dedicated a lot of his life to entertaining troops, he never
okay.
actually was an enlisted personnel.
Well, I was close. I knew he had a lot to do with the military, so okay. It's like a half win.
And by the way, I haven't just left this to be actors. I've added, a couple of wrestlers on there too, just to
Oh, Jesus.
spice things up a bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the first one is Sergeant Slaughter.
No.
No.
What you would think would be a layup. Even Stars and Stripes got this one wrong. Sergeant Slaughter was never in the military.
Yes.
So you both get a point.
No, just because he was a character in G.I. Joe does not make him military.
Uh,
But doesn't it, though? No, it doesn't.
No.
All right. Next up is a guy that did a lot of time talking about how awful war is. George Carlin.
yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes, but I'm apprehensive about saying yes.
Well, you both get a point
Yes.
Okay.
because when George Carlin was 17, he joined the Air Force and
Okay.
was court-martialed 3 times.
George. I honestly, I don't even have, like, you could have just pulled that out of thin air, and I would absolutely believe that he'd been court-martialed 3 times.
That is funny.
Next up, we have Richard Pryor.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, he was.
I'll say no.
Ooh, we have a split. Someone's going to take the lead. But who's it going to be? Find out after this commercial break.
Okay, commercial's over. Yes or no?
I don't have any audio for commercials. So the
Okay.
answer is, before he was a famous groundbreaking showman, Pryor spent 2 years in the Army.
Oh, okay.
From
I'm
58
surprised by that one.
So the answer is yes.
Ish.
Yeah, I actually knew that for certain.
Well, I thought, who would be a good person to talk about when bringing up Richard Pryor? Gene Wilder. So was Gene Wilder in the military?
No.
No.
And you're both wrong.
He was. Oh shit.
Gene Wilder was drafted into the Army in 1956, where he served as a medic at a U.S. Army hospital in the U.S.
Oh, okay. Well, I was expecting that one.
So
All right.
Kente maintains a 1-point lead. To mix things up a little bit, I decided to go with the next person on the list, Ice-T.
Yes.
Yes.
I know we talked about Ice Cube earlier, but Ice-T.
Yes.
You both say yes?
Yes,
Mhm.
no, he was. He definitely was.
Then yes, the answer is yes. Wow, it might have been a little too easy. Okay, so because Brandon's on the show and we know how much he loves the Ghostbusters, I thought this person could have been in the military. And I did the research, and Bill Murray, yes or no?
No.
I don't think so. No.
According to my research, the answer is no.
Yeah, like I mean, he when he graduated high school, he pretty much like did some like improv troops and shit.
But then I pivoted to Ernie Hudson because Ghostbusters.
Huh.
I think he actually wasn't he?
I say no.
Oh, you're split again. So either Kente is going to take a bigger lead or it's going to be tied. Well, I'll tell you, Ernie Hudson joined the Marines after high school.
When I talk to him, I'll curse him out.
We have a tie game. Next up, Jesse Ventura. Jesse the Body Ventura, the governor. The governor of Minnesota at one point. And he talks like this. I fought a predator. Vote for me. So yes or no? Jesse Ventura.
Yes.
One yes.
Yes, he was a veteran.
It's a tough one. I mean, on one side, he's got like the figure and he's got like the imposing whatever for it, but yeah, I don't know. Can I get a lifeline?
No.
Do we have lifelines? No lifelines.
At least nobody in chat willing to help you out. 50-50 shot. Yes or no?
I'll say yes. He looks. Yeah, yes. Final answer, Josh.
And what did you say, Kente? It's been so long, I forgot.
I said yes.
Well, you are both correct. He served in the Navy's underwater demolition team.
Okay.
So not only was he a badass military guy on screen, he was one in real life as well.
Okay.
Going back to the list, Harrison Ford.
No.
No.
Okay, you both got that one absolutely correct. This one probably a little easy, but I threw it on there anyway. Gal Gadot.
I think she was.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was.
As is, I believe, law in Israel, where she's from. She did serve her conscription and was a member of the Israeli military.
I was going to say, I was pretty sure that was the case because if I'm not mistaken, that is like something you have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay.
Okay, I got 3 names left. This game's all tied up still, and I'm going to go with another wrestler, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. I don't even know who the hell he is. So without knowing who he is, I'll just say yes.
We'll say no.
Brandon takes the lead as Randy Orton was a Marine.
Go me.
There were some issues. We don't need to go into that. 2 names left. Burt Reynolds. Burt Reynolds. Was Burt Reynolds in the military?
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Oh, I'm thinking of Tom Selleck. But Burt Reynolds, I mean, he's old. Like he's old. I think he's old enough to. God.
What do you think?
I'll say yes.
And I'll say no. Just
And we're all tied again. Burt Reynolds, no service for Burt Reynolds. So going into the last name, this series is all tied up. One name left. One of my favorite war movies / TV shows. The TV shows starring this particular gentleman, Alan Alda. You might remember him as Hawkeye Pierce from MASH.
No. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he served.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, back during the Korean War, if I'm not mistaken.
Along with Jamie Farr and Mike Farrell, Alan Alda did in fact serve as a gunnery officer in the Army Reserve.
Okay.
So we ended a tie.
You know what? One thing I will say this. I will. Yeah, I will actually. If you want, I will take over this, and we'll have a fresh round. But I'll make it a short one. Okay. With Kente and Josh, you guys versus each other here.
I'm down. Kente, you down?
I'm down.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so here is a list of a few people here. Now, first up. Okay, here we go. Got it. Right here. Excellent. Close out. I found it again. Bam. All right. So a list I have of yeses and nos. First one up is James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, the bad guy in Conan.
I will say yes.
No.
He was.
Oh, okay.
James Earl Jones did serve in the military. I think he served, stationed at Cold Weather Training Command Base in Leadville, Colorado, beginning in 1953. He served during the Korean War. So, Darth Vader, it's like Star Wars meets MASH. So, okay. Chuck Norris.
Of course.
Yes.
Well, we all know that Chuck Norris didn't serve the military. The military served him. But yes, he was in fact in the military. So oh shit! Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I accidentally closed down the list here.
I'm still winning. Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. Sorry about that. Now, okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, my computer's running a little slow here. There we go. Okay. John Wayne.
No.
The Duke.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, there's a split, and the point goes to Josh. He in World War II, he had an exemption because he was a sole provider for his family. And it was controversial because there are other actors in the same position over the years who volunteered instead of taking the deferment. So, okay.
F. John Wayne.
There we go. Sorry. Not well. I guess I can say actor, but Stan Lee, the beloved creator next to what's his name? Who created Spider-Man?
Jack Kirby.
Yeah, Jack Kirby. So Stan Lee, yay or nay in the military?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, absolutely right. Kudos. So Josh has a 1-point lead here. Sorry. All right, and Gordon Ramsay. A man who you would think was, in fact, in the military. He might be. He might not be.
You know what? I'm going to say it's so off the wall that, yeah.
Okay. Kente?
Yeah, he was.
He was not.
Oh.
His son, he's a very proud supporter of the military because of his son's service. But Gordon Ramsay, he never served. He was just a product of a very strict regiment of cooking, due to him always having worked in high-end, restaurants.
No, hold on. I've seen him serve the military a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, no, he serves them and he shouts like a drill sergeant, but he's never served. Okay, and America's most soothing voice, Morgan Freeman.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Kente.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys broke even there. He actually did serve. Morgan Freeman, Mr. Yes, drill sergeant. Yes, he did serve. That's a horrible impersonation of him. But from 1955 to 1959, he served as a radar tech and rose to the rank of airman first class. Okay, and do two more.
There's something on my radar.
Last two. Last two. So you have MC Hammer. Can't touch this.
God. I'm going to say no.
Okay. Kente?
Yes.
Yep, Kente is right. The MC Hammer served in the Navy in the early 80s and worked as an aviation storekeeper for 3 years before he was discharged and finally, started working on his music career.
Oh, wow, we're tied.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh, if you had watched the MC Hammer, biopic that came on VH1 a few years back, you would know this.
Well, if you told me that it was out, I would have. I can finally move it off my watch list.
Okay, and Oliver Stone, the man who's directed so many great war films, as have other directors, but Oliver Stone, Platoon, come on, Platoon's a masterpiece.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is the easiest one. His whole thing is about how he served in Vietnam. So that's that's what he wrote Platoon about.
Yep.
Like most of his movies was about dealing with Vietnam. So yes, he was. 100%.
Okay, you're both right there, so I'll give you that one. Okay.
And he used to have mounds of cocaine like Scarface too.
All right, well then we'll do one more. Excuse me.
Scarface?
No. We're going to talk about Robert Duvall. Now he acted in Apocalypse Now. He's been in a lot of movies where he's just like this badass older man. He's always looked like a grandpa. But since we talked about Scarface, I have to talk about Robert Duvall. So yay or nay?
I'm going to let Kente go first.
Yes.
Okay.
Dang.
And Josh?
I wanted to say yes, so yes.
Then yes, you guys are right.
Another tie.
But you know what? I will take this because I am going to take the final point and win this game as a birthday present. It may have been a week. It may have been this past Sunday was my birthday, so this game belongs to me. I will split the tie. I will split the difference of the points because math, and I will take them both. So Applause, people. Applause. Kente, Josh, I just stole the game from both of you.
Yes.
I'm like the little kid from Big Daddy, a game called I Win.
Huh.
Huh.
Wasn't his name Frankenstein?
No, honestly, it's like I have to say, like it was a let's just say that we're all really good. So we're all winners, okay? Presents for everybody. By presents, I mean over the phone or over the podcast, hand hugs for both of you.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed hearing us tie like weird creeps. A tie. No gloating for any of us. We're going to start a fantasy football. Oh, it's a little late for that, isn't it?
All right, fine. I'll put out one more out there. One more out there. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to put this out there without even looking it up. We will not look up this since we're tied here. We're at like a three-way split, three-way tie. I will put this out there, and then one of us will look this up. Yeah.
Okay.
And then as we look it up, that will be the tiebreaker. I think that's the best way. I think that's a good way to do this.
But if we all can't choose different answers, it's either yes or no, because there could still be a tie.
Could be a maybe. All right, fine. Two more then. Two more randos. All right. The next, first person that has it wrong is out of the game.
Okay.
Brings it down to two. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Bring it quick.
Okay. So first one. Since we brought it up earlier, Sylvester Stallone.
No.
No.
I'm going to say no. It's like Monopoly. This game's going all night here.
I know. Yeah.
Well, so I don't think there's going to be a way out of this one for now.
He was not. Okay. You know what? We'll figure this out later on. This game's going all night.
So in the meantime, Kente, why don't you tell everybody where we can find you on the social medias and whatnot?
You can find me at Kente F on Twitter, Kente Ferguson on Instagram.
Huh. You would think Brandon would have stuck around to, I don't know, plug his stuff. Wow. Anyway, since Brandon's usually the one that kicks it over to me, I will say you can find me on Twitter at SkidComic, but better yet, just go to semicorestudios.com, and that's where I have all of my social links and whatnot to connect you to me. If it's something I'm connected to, chances are there's a link to it there. Brandon, where can people find you on the internets and the WADcast?
Well, as always, you can find me on Instagram, bjacksman82. And you can also find the WADcast page on the on the gram, as the cool kids call it. You'll know our page if you just type in WADcast. You'll see our page, the real WADcast, trademarked. It's got the black picture with a white banner that says WADcast in it. You can also find us on Facebook, which if you're listening to this on Facebook Live, congratulations, you already found us. But you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the WADcast. That's where we have all of our updates on shows or just random stuff, soon to be random information. We have our website back up and running, thewadcast.com. It is almost completed with the update. I just have to publish it again. But it is it's coming along. So you can find us on there. But that's pretty much it. You can also look me up on Facebook. Just type in Brandon Junk. I may or may not accept your friend request. I have a lot of them pending from years ago. But that's where you can find me.
All right, before we head out of here, Before we head out of here, I just want to give a shout out to Tori for hosting the Infectious Geek tonight. It was a hell of an episode. If you want to get on board that train, just look for the Infectious Geek. And if you want to continue hearing myself and Kente doing other conversations, don't forget Horror Flicks and Chill, the latest episode number 3. is about our viewing of the movie Old from M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
There's no arguing that movie. That movie was horrible.
That's what I said. I seem to be in the minority, though.
That movie was so bad. Can we just call M. Night Shyamalan what he is? He's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
He is the guys that like he is the he is honestly to me he is the film industry equivalent of the guys that sang the song Butterfly in like 1998.
Bob Carlyle?
No, I think it was like Crazy Town. I think that was the name of them.
Oh, that Butterfly song.
Yeah, that's M. Night Shyamalan's career right there. That's his swan song.
What did Bob? Carlyle?
Sixth Sense was amazing. The rest of them, I can't do it.
Oh, he's saying Butterfly Kisses. That's right.
Yeah, well, M. Night Shyamalan pretty much Butterfly kissed his career goodbye after Sixth Sense. Well, no, not Sixth Sense. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. After The Happening, I think was the official. Yeah, I gave up.
What? No.
Talking to a plane, he says, "Oh, this is plastic." Jesus.
But if you want to hear the full conversation with the entire crew from Horrorflix and Chill, don't forget Horrorflix and Chill. It's a primo pod about us watching horror movies, and we have a lot of fun with it, don't we, Kente?
Yes.
I'll have to jump on there with you guys.
That'd be great. Glad to have you on.
Good save, Kente.
Oh. Well, thank you, Kente. Thank you. The one person who I share a city with that I have not hung out with personally says it would be great to have me on there. And the person whom I once shared a city with, whom I've hung out with multiple times personally, said nothing to me.
Well, I said this. It's time for our final thoughts.
Damage is done, Josh.
It's called a pivot. So, as you know, at the end of each and every episode of the WADcast, I give you a final thought. And you know what? It's generally the same thing each and every time. So I'm not going to change that tradition tonight. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. Get off your keister, meester. It's time to make your art. Start writing today. Start filming today. You got a phone, don't you? You got a webcam. You can come up with something.
Yeah.
Start doing it. Stop talking about doing it and start doing it. It doesn't matter if your name is my name or M. Night Shyamalan. Keep doing what you do. Brandon.
Hey, listen, my last name is Junk, okay? And I've already directed a feature. And also, I've written numerous stuff. And I was brave enough to keep my last name attached to it, okay?
Well, I was in Disunity, so there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Technology is so democratized these days that if you want to make something, anything, any kind of art, it's there. It's literally at your fingertips. And there's nothing but opportunity and time waiting for you. So until next time, this has been the WADcast. I'm Josh. Those guys are Brandon and Kente. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.